What's up, y'all? It's your boy, the Longest Shoreman, aka One Sip Reviews here. Hey, I just wanted to make this video here to answer a few questions I get asked on TikTok and on YouTube sometimes, and just go over a few things I'm blasting on, and let's do it. So how old am I? I'm 33 years old. My name's Philip, and what I do for a job, I'm a longshoreman at the ports, and I love it. It's a big boy job. It's fun. It's cool. What do I trying to get out of these videos? Really nothing. I mean, I've just always been kind of a fan of food and food products and drinks in general, and I've always just wanted to try different stuff and see what people thought. I kind of got a little bit of inspiration from Dave Portnoy, because I was like, man, I love pizza, and I just thought he was funny that the One Sip Reviews thing comes from that. He always has this rule where he's like, one bite, but then he eats the whole pizza, and it always makes me just, it makes me die laughing that he always says that. So in my videos, you'll see me say, hey, one rule, one sip, and then I'll proceed to drink half the drink. It's kind of a blast on what Dave Portnoy does, kind of just a little joke. I think it's funny. So if you ever see that, that's why. But I just want to try different new things and broaden an audience of these different drinks that haven't tried them before. And that's the whole One Sip Review aspects on this. Another question I get asked a lot is like, oh, you do these food videos. Have you ever worked in the food industry? Yes, I have. For 11 years, I worked in the food industry. And I'll tell you what, it was not that great. And I always get asked, like, what's the worst things about working in the food industry for me? And I'll tell you, I got two of them right now. One is owners and managers. I worked at a sub shop. I'm not going to name any names on here. Just know that not a lot of these people were that great. And I'm not trying to name any names, throw anybody under the bus, anything like that. So I worked at a sub shop for 11 years. And in those 11 years, I had the same owners for those 11 years, two guys. And I had probably about 3 or 4 different managers before becoming one myself. And I'll tell you what, those managers were not cool. One of them was actually a decent guy. He was kind of a little uppity about some stuff, but he was actually decent and cared enough about his employees, which is all I wanted. It's like, man, you don't have to be nice to me. At least just show some respect and show some care that, I'm coming in to bust my butt, to help your store grow. Understand that. And he did, which was cool. So, I enjoyed that aspect of it. He was all right. The other ones were terrible, and the owners were terrible. The owners were tyrants. They didn't care about anything but money, and a lot of the managers really didn't care anything about it, really. I mean, other than money as well. So it's kind of like, that's what I often get asked all the time, is like the biggest things, and I don't really know what it was, but I got a lot of people that transferred to my stores kind of in the later years I was there as a manager, because I was a manager probably 6 or 7, I think about 7 years of those 11 years. I can't quite exactly remember. It's been a few years before all that happened. I think it was about 7 years of those 11 I was a manager. And, towards the later end of that manager run, I had a lot of people transfer stores from different states. When they'd come down and be like, man, our owners were awesome. They were helpful. If anything would happen, we could call them. And, one kid was telling me that, hey, he ran a store in Florida, and he was driving down to work, and his car broke down on the way to work in the morning to open the store. And he called his manager and said, hey, I'm going to be a little late. My car just broke down. I'm not super far away. I'm just going to walk the rest of the way. I'm going to get the store open as soon as I can. And that's cool. That's a good employee. That's the type of employee you want. Most people would just be like, screw this. He's like, the car's not a big deal right now. Let me open the store. He was a cool guy. I really liked him a lot. He ended up getting a really good job at FedEx. That's why he left. So, if he's still out there, if he ever sees this, I appreciate you, dude. You're one of my best employees. Anyway, he knows who he is. I don't have to say his name. He knows who he is. And, he was telling me like, hey, I called them. They came and picked me up and helped me open the store. I'm like, dude, that is insane. Like, that's awesome. My manager would have just been like, cool, you either figure out how to get to the store or you're fired. It's like, dude, my car broke down. I mean, what do you expect me to do? Like, sorry, I don't drive a Porsche, like you do, and, I make all this money, my bad. But, and then the managers were just always money hungry. They never really gave a crap about anything but themselves, which was terrible. And, I'm not perfect myself. I kind of got into that, I wasn't the greatest manager towards the beginning because I kind of wanted everything to be like, I had a lot of OCD I wanted stuff to be done the right way, just because I felt like in my mind, it's like, hey, I've done stuff the right way, and I've seen this company grow. So I kind of want to, keep doing stuff the right way to help grow this company. And, I kind of lost my way on what was actually right. So towards the end, I got a lot better. I never didn't care about my employees, but towards the end, I started being like, hey, let's do this as a team, as a family kind of thing. And I got a lot better. It was cool. And actually, the last couple of years were actually enjoyable. But most of them were terrible. And, it's just sad to see that, you use these people to essentially make your livelihood, and then you come in and you basically treat them like crap. And I had this, long story short, I had this employee that had longer hair. And he usually put it in a ponytail, so it was not a big issue. And he would always, he'd wear a hairnet if he needed to. We never really had a problem with hair on people's foods anyways. So, but he said he would wear one if he needed to. But he always had it in a ponytail, so it was never a big deal. And, he comes in, so the owner comes in one day and he's like, does his thing, walks around, looks for all the stuff that he always looks for, chills for a minute, talks to us, and then leaves. And he calls me. He says, hey, who's that hippie working the register? And I said, I mean, you know who that is? And he's like, no, I don't know who he is anymore, because clearly he's just a hippie and doesn't care about anything. And I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? It's like, he's been one of your best employees for 3.5 years here. He comes in and work every single day, and then he goes and coaches at night. So not only does he come in at 8 o'clock in the morning and stay till 3 every day, which is a lot, and he does school at night, but he would leave at 3 o'clock and he would go and coach a soccer team and a football team a couple days a week after he worked all day. He wouldn't even get home till 9, 10 o'clock at night, do some schoolwork, come in the next day. He worked 5 days a week. One of my best employees. Worked all the time, loved being there. Awesome dude. And this man's like, hey, either tell the guy to get a haircut or fire him. And I'm like, but his hair's never been an issue. He's had I was like, he's had long hair for years. And he's like, well, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of people, perceiving my store that hippies work here. I'm like, dude, they don't. But long story short, that was the kind of stuff that I had to deal with. Him not letting my employees do anything personal, pretty much had to be robots. So that was one big thing. Owners and managers were always a thing to me. And then another one is if you're one of these people, just know how much food employees or restaurant employees, food industry employees hate you for doing this. The people that would come in like 10 minutes before we closed. Yeah, you know who you are. Don't do it. It's terrible. Or at least if you're going to do it, get something super easy that can be made super quick. But 10 minutes before closing, we're cleaning that grill because it takes forever. We're doing the slicer because that takes a long time too. So, dude, we got a lot going on to try to get out of there. And it already takes us an hour, hour and a half after we close anyways, sometimes 2 hours to do all the stuff we had to do to get out of there. And if we're out of there before 11, we're lucky. And we close at 8. So don't do that. Anyways, that was little stories from me. If y'all want to know some more, just ask them a couple questions. I'll try to answer them when I can in comments. But I will tell you this, I will have some more videos coming to you guys soon. And I appreciate everybody that's here. Anyways, One Sip Reviews, signing out. Expect some more reviews here coming soon. Longshoreman One Sip Reviews. I will see you guys later. Have a good one.